Hello, my scrappy friends. It is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for a Kitaholic Kits design team layout. This is my last layout for the month of April using this brilliant Vicky Booten kit designed around the Discover and Create collection. And now you know, well, you should know by now, that I love taking a Vicky Booten paper, cutting it apart, distressing it, and then putting it back together exactly the way it came. And this piece of 12 by 12 pattern paper is no exception. So this piece of pattern paper came with these beautiful rainbow stripes across it as a full 12 by 12 piece. I ended up cutting it into each colourful strip, distressing all the way around the edge. Now, if you're playing along at home, this is the one that I distressed using my paper distresser, not my scissors. I found it a lot neater and I didn't tear up my page as much, but it probably took a little bit longer. And then after I had distressed all the way around the edges, I then stuck it all back together in exactly the same way that it was designed. So I didn't change up the color order. I didn't change up its design at all. All I did was cut it apart, distress it, and put it back together again. And I just think it looks super cute. It was a beautiful paper in the first place with all those amazing colors. And then, of course, by adding just that little bit of distress, I said it last week, and I just love that the little bit of white sort of peeking through from being torn, from being distressed, from just having a bit of the 12 by 12 that I'm sticking it to. I feel like it just helps to tone down the intenseness of this layout. Now, this particular layout just goes from being colorful to even more colorful to even more colorful, if I'm being honest. I did send this one to my sister and say, do you think this is too busy? But we decided it was fine and to just embrace the busyness. So I pulled out these little post-it note type ephemera pieces out of the ephemera pack, and I just slit a little hole underneath where the imaginary tape is and used that to adhere onto the edge of my photo, of each photo that I cut down to be approximately 3 by 3 size. And then I just felt this looked really cute because it looked like the photos were being stuck up on the post-it note. And it was a little bit messy and it had the cute little coloring. And I just thought that looked really cute. And then when I attached these onto the page, I still attached them in color order. So I still had the yellow one at the top, the pink one in the middle, and the blue one down the bottom. I did think about doing, sorry, let me speak. There are two of each color. So I could have done another yellow one or another pink one or another blue one for my fourth photo. There are also other options like a clipboard and things like that. And I did think about using that for the bottom photograph. But in the end, I just went with using nothing but putting that large black camera beside that photo. I think that was sort of enough to make up for its lack of backing, its lack of its own little post-it note. I think that worked out fine. And I just really love the way this kind of looks. It kind of makes me think of stuck on a notice board or stuck on a pin board at your lab, at your workplace, because the boys look like they are being scientists, which actually they are. So they're wearing little lab coats. And what I have done here is, it was the school holidays and Chadstone Shopping Centre was having one of their school holiday activities that is free, and it was run by the NGV, and it was called the Botanical Lab. So I booked them in for a session there. They went there, they got dressed in their little lab coats, and then they just did a bunch of little art and craft activities, all relating to botanical type things. So they made origami flowers, which are the top two photos. In the bottom two photos, they're using really large printing blocks and ink to print pictures of flowers. They did some observational drawing. They drew on chalkboards. They did a bunch of different things. I'm not 100% sure that Jack had the best time of his life. His smile looks very fake and very forced, but it was something to do during the school holidays when they're bored. It was free. It got us out of their house for a couple of hours. I still call it a win. And the photos are still cute. So I'm about to pop on this little ephemera piece here that says captured on film, and I did that on purpose because of the camera down in the bottom right, sorry. But then I thought I kind of wanted the flower to go there, and by putting the flower there I was covering up the word film. So then I thought, oh, maybe I'll just cover the whole thing, but then that didn't work because the flower wasn't big enough. So then in the end, which is what I should have done in the first place, is I chopped the word film off, and it just says captured now. Look, both was fine. Captured on film was totally fine, but I think just captured is also fine. Steph included these really cute little golden, I don't know what you'd call them, flags or tags. And they've got little eyelet holes, which I tied a little bit of black string through, just put a knot on it, and adhered some tiny words that also came. I fussy cut off the ephemera pack that also came in the ephemera pack. And then I kind of bent them a little like I was bending all the flowers. I didn't want to stick the flowers up or this tag up on foam. I just wanted the photos up on foam. But by just putting a little kink, a little bend into the paper, it still gives it that little bit of pop and that little bit of texture, which I really like. I also like the way putting the tiny word phrase over top of the golden sort of tag just blocks some of the shininess a little bit. It's a beautiful gold, and it's a really nice shiny golden tag, but it was a little bit much all on its own. But just by putting that word phrase across there, it kind of just dulls it down a little, which worked really well for this particular layout. So once I have put these on, I'm just tying my last little knot here out of some thread that we got in last month's kit, I think, or maybe the month before. I'm not sure. But also the thread came in a kit as well. I'm going to play with my title. I do cut a little bit of making this title out. It was not complicated. It was just long, and I didn't think you needed to watch me put thickers on a page. So I put down the word botanical, and then I put down the words NGV and lab, because that's exactly what they're doing. No rocket science there. I also cut out myself putting glue on the page and the first little wood veneer hearts, because all you could see was the top of my head and none of the 12 by 12 page I was working on. And now I'm just finishing it off with a few of these little buttons. I really, again, wanted to stick with the tone on tone, so I'm being careful where I put them. I put this last little spotty blue one down and I don't like it, and then I move it somewhere else, but it is quite sticky and they're starting to pull up the paper. So this last place I put it, I actually attempted to move it and it was really stuck. And I did tear the paper a little bit, so that told me, nope, it's definitely staying there. And then I looked again at the packaging and saw that I had one with a leaf on it. I'm like, botanical leaf, oh, I've got to swap that. So I did swap them over, but I ripped a great big hole into my page, so I definitely was putting it straight over the top of that big torn hole. Of course, I finished off my layout with a few gold and black splatters, and I'm really happy with the way this busy, colourful layout came together. Thank you so much for watching my April shares. I cannot wait to see you again next month with the May Kitaholic Kit. I will see you all really, really soon.